All right, back here on Inside Wrestling Radio, and having a good time today with the Boogie Woogie man, Jimmy Valiant, in the house, and he's giving us a great history of his time in the business here. And before the break, he was talking a little bit about his schooling. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later in the interview. But right now, Boogie, I want to talk some more about the getting into the NWA days and working for Crockett Promotions, and that was just a wild time. And that's, to me, Jimmy, and I don't know how you feel about it, but that to me was true wrestling. Those NWA days with you and Paul Jones's Army, and tell us a little bit about your NWA time.
You bet, brother. Hey, Crockett had the biggest stars, in the country at that time, and man, we were running 3 shows a night, and they had 50, 60 wrestlers living in Charlotte, Steamboat Wahoo, Piper, Andre the Giant, I mean, everybody, brother, was there, of course, and the thing is, hey, in the 70s, in the 80s, I was with them like 7 or 8 years, until they sold out to Ted Turner.
Sure.
And we were all under contract, man, and the deal was, brother, man, that we worked 7 days a week. I worked actually 9 times a week, man, and we worked every night, of course, once, and then on Saturdays we'd work an afternoon show and a Sunday. So we'd work twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday, and then work once a week. 9 times a week we wrestled, so it was a jammed up, the biggest territory in the world, and it was great.
Absolutely, and that stuff was just really fun to watch, and especially when the Boogie Woogie man showed up, it was always going to be something fun happening. Tell us about your feud there with Paul Jones and his Army.
Yeah, man, Paul Jones, all of his Army consisted of, the Barbarian, man, Baron von Raschke, Abdullah the Butcher, Superstar Billy Graham, Shaska Kawatli,
right,
Raging Bull, man. I mean, the Assassins, he just brought, these thugs, man, one after another after myself, and I was there alone, Valiant's War, and for this feud lasted 5 years, and we wrestled 7 days a week against his Army, either 1 or 2 or more of his Army, and of course it all ended up to me and him 5 years later, and we both got our heads shaved, and we were both bald-headed geeks, man, but it was a terrific run, man, with number 1 Paul Jones, and brother, it was box office stuff all the way, and Boogie Jam 84, man, we set records, where we were trying to get the Assassin mask. I went through so many partners, great partners, Bugsy McGraw, with Dusty Rhodes, man, I had them all for my partner going after Assassin. We could never get their mask off, and
right.
Finally they tied me up, Ricky, and took my beard, brother, man, and that lined up the whole thing where I was on the street, man, I was in the gutter, brother, man, Boogie Man was low, and
right.
Man, we set up the deal where, hey, I have nothing else to lose. I'll put my hair up, every hair on my head. If I lose, I get shaved, and if I win, I'll hold the Assassin mask in my right hand, and we went around the loop with that, unmasked the Assassin, man, it was just a terrific box office deal for the wrestling fans and for the wrestling office, of course, for me and Paul Jones and the wrestlers, it was great.
Sure, absolutely. And I remember being a kid when you got your beard shaved and feeling sad for you because the beard was such an important part of your look. And then when it was gone, I just felt terrible, because you're a kid, You bet. Yes, sir, brother. And right there, it was a personal issue, Ricky. That's how you drew money, brother, when something personal, man. He took something that belonged to me, brother. Sure.
And just like your feelings as a young kid, man, so you can see how the people, and I told them, I said, jam the boxes, man, and they did. They came out in groves to see me unmask the Assassins, because before that time, the Assassins, in the history of professional wrestling, it was never unmasked. So this was really a great feat and something, and when you get something that hot and that right, brother, hey, they'll come and see it.
Sure, absolutely. And we're coming up short on time here, Jimmy, but before we run out of time, really quickly, I want you to tell me a little bit about the Charlie Brown gimmick. That was always one of my favorite things, because Boogie Woogie Man was fired, so all of a sudden shows up Charlie Brown under the mask there with the beard and the long hair, still doing the Jimmy voice.
He was from out of town, and I told the people before I left, I said, you can trust Charlie Brown because I know him. He's a good friend of mine. I said, I met him in jail, so you people can trust him, And it was great. Yeah, it was the greatest thing. It only lasted 6 months because I was suspended for 6 months, and I came back, then the Boogie Woogie Man was back after 6 months. But the thing is, people still, man, everywhere I go, man, no matter where, they ask me about Charlie Brown. And I've been wrestling since 1964, wrestled over 47 years,
yeah.
Been in the business, and the people, they still ask about Charlie Brown, which that was only 6 months of my 47 years in professional. That shows you how hot it was, and what a impression, this will last with people. And oh man, we the people was with it, because I'd get out there and if I knocked down the Kabuki or his manager, Playboy Gary Hart, and I'd look at the people and I'd take my mask off real fast and show everybody Boogie Woogie, and then I put it back on, and it was great stuff.
That was great stuff, and like you said, it just speaks to the power that gimmick had with it. People still remembering it all these many years later. Boogie, we really short on time here. In the last few minutes we got here, really quickly before we get out of here, what's your ideas on the current state of wrestling as it stands today with WWE and TNA? What's your ideas on that?
Well, my idea, man, is I want to just be a goodwill ambassador for professional wrestling. It's been so good to me, and I had 10,000 matches, brother. I drove 4 million miles on U.S. highways getting to them matches, and no matter what they're doing, no matter what they're doing, brother, WWE, hey, TNA, it don't matter what they're doing, because if it's not working, hey, they'll do something, they'll swing it around, they'll start over, they'll go back to wrestling, they'll do whatever, because, if it's working, brother, if they continue what they're doing, hey, it's working, they're drawing money, it's a business, everything's about money, and, hey, I'm with it, I'm for it. These athletes today, these kids, they're great, man, they're bigger, stronger, faster, man. Hey, I take my hat off to them, man.
Sure.
They look great. Hey, good stuff, man. Everything's good. Everything's good, Ricky.
That's awesome, Jimmy, and that's a great attitude to have. I know some of the guys who've been around a lot of years, like Ole and some of those other guys, are really bitter about the current state of the business. And I'm of the mind that as long as those guys are out there making money, man, hey, and best of luck to them. You know what I mean?
God bless Chief Wahoo McDaniel. He's not no longer with us, but he says, Boogie, man, he says, we missed out on the big money, man. These kids are making such big money now and this and that. And I said, yeah, but Chief, when we were on top, when we were doing our thing, I says, we were making the top money. We were making money like doctors and lawyers. And, I just went to high school, man, and these doctors, they went 8 years of college.
Sure.
I says, but hey, God bless them. Let them make that big money, man.
Absolutely.
It don't matter to me. I don't have a jealous bone in my body,
Sure.
Hey, I just want to be a goodwill ambassador and train my kids out here at Boogie's Wrestling Camp Hall of Fame, Shawsville, Virginia.
Fantastic, Boogie. And that, you mentioned that about you were making, during the time you were making the top money. And we had your old tag partner Fernandez in here a few weeks ago, and then he basically said the same thing. Jimmy, listen, it's been a great thrill to have you on here on the radio, and we got just a few more seconds left. And in those few seconds, tell us again about the wrestling school, and tell us about your website and anything you want to plug, anything you got coming up the fans to know about.
Thanks for having me on, first of all, brother. And yes, everybody check out JimmyValiant.com or JimmyValiant.weebly.com, and or go to MySpace and Facebook. I got everything, brother, man. And the whole thing is, I have a Wrestling Camp Hall of Fame museum. Check it out. There's a map how to get here. Come be my guest. Spend the day with us. And also, of course, to pick up my book. I got a wrestling book. It's 566 pages, man. It weighs 3 pounds. I tell everybody, Ricky, buy 2 copies, put one in each hand, and work out with them. It's huge. And I told you, I had 10,000 pro matches. I drove 4 million miles on U.S. highways getting the matches. So you can imagine there's a few stories in there, in my autobiography. And
Sure.
It's called, Woo, Messy Daddy, Welcome My World, the Jimmy Valiant story, man. Pick it up. Also, you can do it coming any Sunday, 12 to 4 at my wrestling camp. You can come and pick one up, and I'll autograph it personally to you. Or catch me on the road at an autograph session, or, a special appearance where I'm at. Or you can order at JimmyValiant.com. As soon as you hit that, man, the book will hit you right in the face, and order one of them. Of course, my wife, lovely wife, Angel, she's got her own wrestling attire wear, Angel's wrestling wear. She makes tights, the singlets, the masks, the robes, the jackets, man. She can do anything,
Wow.
So if you're interested in some type of wrestling outfit, man, come and see her. Also, you can contact her through JimmyValiant.com, man. And, hey, brother, again, please, Ricky, keep my number, man, and if you ever, want to come and be my guest, please do that, or call call me, brother. I'd love to be on your radio show again, man. You're the greatest, my man.
Well, listen, Jimmy, I greatly appreciate it, my friend, and I'm definitely going to pick up one of those 3-pound Jimmy Valiant books. And again, thanks so much for coming on the radio with us today. It's been a thrill having you, and you are a legend, and we look forward to seeing you more out there on the road, brother.
Woo, I said, Boogie, Woogie, man, feel good. I'll tell my people, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare miss Inside Wrestling with Ricky, my main man. God bless you, brother. Love you, brother.
Love you, brother. All right, we'll be right back. More Inside Wrestling Radio coming up next.